Good evening, students. Itna come strength? Daily it is decreasing. Why? Huh? So till the last class, is there any doubts in the problems? Huh? Have you tried at your home? Any doubts regarding last class questions? Online? Offline? Hmm? Yes or no? This one we have completed, right? Actually, I left one topic, facility layout ka problems. I have said I will discuss it after in the next class, right? So let us do that problems. Okay. Page number 54. Online, page number 54. Facility layout ka questions we have not did yet. So let us do that. So question number 11. What the question is telling? The present layout is shown in the figure. The manager of the department is intending to interchange the department of C and F in the present layout. So the manager want to interchange the department C and F. The handling frequencies between the department is given. All the departments are of the same size and configuration. The material handling cost per unit length travel between the departments is same. So what will be the effect of interchange of department C and F in the layout? Okay, if the manager will change the layout of C and F, so what will be the frequency they are asking? Okay, so let us do that. Okay, so let us do that problem. Tell me. So what is the layout they have given? A, B. Is this visible online? Is this color visible?
Yes, ma'am.
A, B, C, D, E and F. This is the layout they have given in the question. Now what they are saying, they wanted to change C and F places. Okay, so they wanted to change this C and F places. Pehla first we'll do one question, then after I will say the changing layout. Okay, C, right? C, D, E and F. So from A to B, tell me this row and columns. A, B, C, D, E, F, E, F. Here A, B, C, D, E, F. So first A1, A में कुछ है क्या? नहीं. And B में 0. So now we have to do the distance matrix. distance between A and B. Okay, this is the distance between A and B, means 1. Okay, how much step it is moving forward from A to B? 1 step. So it is 1. So tell me one now, C, A to C, 1 step. Okay, 1. Next, A to D, A to B and B to D. It cannot move cross. Okay, it can move forward or downward. Okay, the movement will be always straight. It cannot move for in this. Okay, tell me D, 2. Next E, A to E, A to C 1 and C to E 1. So that is 2. Next A to F, A to 1, 2, 3. Okay, did you get it? Online, did you understood? Okay, understood? Next one tell me. So the same, there is any value here? No. I will put first dashes so that no confusion. 1, 2, 17. Okay, next E. So tell me the values whatever we have given. So these are the values to find the distance. Okay. So tell me B to C. B to C 2. B to D 1. D to C 1. 1 plus 1 2. Next B to D 1. B to E 3. B to E 3 and 2. Next C to D, right? C to D 1 and C to E 1, C to F 2. Next D to E, 2. Next D to F 1. Next E to F 1. So this is the distance matrix we need to find. Okay, everyone got it? Online?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So next what they have given. So the values whatever given in the question to be multiplied with this distance. So B का value कितना? 90 है ना? 90 into 1. Actually there is no space, right? So I will just write here A का value, sorry, B का value कितना है? 90 into 1 90. C का value कितना है? What's the value given in the question for C? 0. It's not B, it's C, sorry, C. So it's C. Tell me, C का 90 है. Next D, 160 into 2, 320. 160 into 2, 320, right? Okay, next E का वैल्यू कितना है? 50 into 200 and F का वैल्यू कितना है? 0. So it will be nil. Next C का वैल्यू in the row B1 कितना है? 70 into 2, 140. Next D का वैल्यू 0. Next E 100 मतलब 300, right? Next 113 260 कितना है? 130, right? Next here third column C का नहीं है. Next D20. Okay, next 0. Next 0. Next tell me E का value 180 into 2, 360. Next 10. Here next one 40. Yes. So these are the values you got in the second step, right? So clear? Second step clear hai? So you need to total that 90 plus 320 plus 100 and 140 plus 300 plus 260. So total करने से total cost आएगा. This one, actually they didn't give any values for that. So that's whatever the values they have given, we need to find the distance for that values and we need to multiply that. Whatever the question is asking, we need to do that. Here they have not at all mentioned anything. Question has not mentioned anything. So how can we assume? Clear? Next. So in the question what he has mentioned, if he wanted to change the places of C and F, if he want पहला A, B, C, D, E, F like this. If he wanted to change the place of F and C, now it becomes F and it becomes C. So now we have to do again the distance matrix, again the total cost. So come on, tell me. A, B, C, D, F. Everyone understood? So tell me, A to A, it is nil, right? It's 0, nil. 1 minute. Yeah, tell me. A to C. अच्छा, A to B 1 right now. A to B 1. Next A to C. A to C 1, 2, 3. A to D 1, 2. Yes. A to E 2. This is E, this is C. Next, A to F 1. Next, B to C, right? B to C, no 3, 1, 2, 3. Acha, B to C, right? Yeah, B to C 2. So B to D 1. B to E 2. B to F 2. Next C to D 1. Next C to E 1. Next C to F 2. Next. Where? B to yes, it's 3. Yeah. Next, D to E 1. So 2. I'm getting confused with that. This is F and this is C. Okay, next D to F 1, E to F 1. That's all. So multiply this, whatever the amounts given in your question with this, you will get a total cost. Okay? Clear? Can I arise online?
Yes, ma'am.
Next. So question number 12 you can do, I think so. Okay? Will you? Huh? Will you? Question number 12 will you do? Offline, online? Once go through it. If there is any doubt in regarding question number 12, ask me now itself. Question number 12, go through it once. What happened? Any doubt? Ask me. Any doubt? No. Go through question number 12. So the existing plan is the whatever he given in the question, but the proposed plan is to change the department E and F. He is interchanging the department E and F. So that is the proposed plan. We need to make the distances for both the plans and into the number of trips. So we'll get the total cost, or sorry, total distance. Okay, online. Finished. Finished. Is there any doubt? Online? It's easy. Same as the question, whatever I have discussed. So let us go to next problem. It will take time and it's somewhat clumsy also. Okay? Can I? Huh? Chalo. So in the question number 13, so what's the layout he has given? D1, D2, D3, D4, D5 and D6. So this is the layout he has given. Okay. So what the question is telling about? Suppose a hospital has 6 major departments, namely D1, D2, D3, D4, D5 and D6. The initial layout of the hospital is, so the hospital has 6 layouts. So it is located like this: D1, D2, D3, D4, D5 and D6. So this is the initial layout, and the average traffic movement to and from each department is given in the following table. So the table tell us the average traffic, matlab average patients move from department 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 or something like that. Okay. So what he is telling, to find out the optimum layout. Okay, to find out the optimum layout. So we need to, now what we need to do, we need to find the average traffic movement. Okay, be like that only. Okay, tell me the question. D1, D2, D3, D4, D5 and D6, and next D1, D2, D3, let us erase this. So D1, D2, D3, D4, D5 and D6. So this is not same as the question before we have discussed, so it is little bit different. Okay, so tell me the distance between D1 and D1 is nothing. D1 and D1 is nothing. So the distance between the D1 and D2, what he has given? 10, right? Okay, round it up, 10. And then next come to D2. D2 to D1 कितना है? D1 to D2 is 10, but D2 to D1 is 8. So we need to add the both. Okay, like where 1 to 2 is the distance is 1. So same as 2 to 1 is also 1 only. So we need to add it both. So like that only, that from department 1 to 2 the people are traveling like 10 patients, and the same from the D2 to D1 also people are, number of patients traveling are 8. So total number of average patients traveling between D1 and D2 is how much? 18. Okay. Next tell me, D1 to D3 is 20, and next D3 to D1 is 10. So total 30. So tell me fastly, Hemans, D4 का कितना है? D4 is 0. So next D5, 20. Next D6, 6, and it's only 6. So because it's 0, right? 6. So next tell me, yeah, nothing. So D2 to D3, D2 to D3 is 6, and D3 to D2 is 6, 12. So next D3, D2 to D4, right? D2 to D4 is 10, 35. Online, are you getting? Online, are you getting? You want me to explain once again, or are you understanding?
मैम फिर से एक बार एक्सप्लेन कर दीजिए।
हाँ,
ये
फिर से
एक
अच्छा
हाँ।
ठीक है। सो इन द क्वेश्चन नंबर दैट एवरेज ट्रैफिक फ्लो का टेबल देखो एक बार. सो व्हाट ही इज, वी नीड टू नो द डिस्टेंस बिटवीन द डिपार्टमेंट्स. सो हियर द D1 to D2 कितना है डिस्टेंस? I mean the patients traveling 10, right? And like same, so D2 to D1 कितना है? 8. So we need to add that both. 8 plus 10, it's 18. Okay. Next D1 to D3 is 20. Okay, and the like that only D3 to D1 is 10, so we need to add that 20 plus 10, 30. So that is the value, so that is the number of patient traveling between D1 to D3. So before that one, 18 is the number of patient traveling between D1 to D2. Understood, Manish?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So tell me the values now, Manish. So D2 to D5 कितना है? D2 to D5, it's 0, right?
Yes, ma'am.
No. D5 to D2 is also there,
10.
no? It's 10. Next, D6 का वैल्यू कितना है? 2, 2 plus 8. So this is 8. Okay. Next, tell me fastly. D2 to D3 to D4, 25. Next, eight. Next, eight. Next, 11. D4 to D5, 10, and D5 to D4, 10, 30. Yes, it's 30. Next, D4 to D6, 6, 7, 6 or 7? 7, okay. Next, next, D5 to D6. Huh? What happened? D5 to D6 is 6 plus 4, 10. Okay. Clear? Clear, everyone? Huh? Is there any doubt? So what is the layout he has given? D1, D2 and D3, D4, D5 and D6. Okay, this is the layout he has given, right? So what are the adjacent pairs and non-adjacent pairs? Tell me. Adjacent pairs and non-adjacent pairs मतलब क्या? The pairs or the departments which connect easily, like D1 and D2, D2 to D3, D3 to D6, D6 to D5, D5 to D4 and D1 to D2, D2 to D3, sorry D5 and D3 to D6. These are connecting easily. These are adjacent pairs. Non-adjacent pairs का मतलब क्या है? D1 to D6 or D5, D3 to D5 or D4. Okay, these are non-adjacent pairs. मतलब they are not connecting properly. So tell me the adjacent pairs. D1 to D2, D2 to D3, D3 to D6, D5 to D6, D4 to D5, D1 to D4 and D2 to D5 and D3 to D6. So non-adjacent pairs D1 to D6, D3 to D4 and D3 to D5 or D1 to D5 and next D2 to D4. So these are the non-adjacent pairs. One more is missing, I think.
D2 to D6.
D?
D2 to D6.
D2 to D6. So these are the non-adjacent pairs which are not connecting. So now we need to focus on what? Non-adjacent pair. Already adjacent pairs are connecting, so we can find the distance easily. Okay, but the non-adjacent pairs are not connecting properly, so the distance finding will be somewhat typical. So let us do. Okay, so first one, what they are taking in the question, D1 and D3. Okay, so tell me the distance between D1 and D3 कितना है? Go to the layout given in the question. D1 to D2 is 1. Question, turn your paper. D1 to D2 is 1. It is moving one step forward, and next D2 to D3 is 1. So what's the distance? 2. So the distance is 2. Likewise tell me D1 to D6. D1 to D6 कितना है? D1 to D6 is 3. Next. D3 to D4, 1, 2, 3. 3, right? Next. D4 to D6.
3. 2, ma'am.
D4 to D6. D2, right? So it's 2. Actually we took non-adjacent pairs as D2 to D5, sorry, D4 is wrong. Only this corner points making intersection, right? So only those are non-adjacent pairs. So the distance what we got is right or wrong? Check once. Somewhere it is this 3 and 3. What is this? D1 to D6 कितना है? D3 and D4. Acha. They are not looking into the question the initial layout, but they are taking this intersection point layout distance. So look at that intersection point. Intersection point में देखो पहला वो D1 to the intersection point is 1 and that intersection point to D6 is 1. So they are taking like that. Okay. So that's why every point, every distance will be 2. They are getting every distance will be 2. They are not like taking the whatever the question they have given, they are taking this intersection point as a distance. So multiply that distance into the amount, you will get the load distance. Tell me कितना है? D1 to D3 कितना है amount? Into 30. Next D1 to D6 6. Next D1, sorry, D3 to D4, 25. Huh? Next D4 to D6, 7. So this will be the your load distance. Again the first arrangement they are doing like, now the arrangement is in this shape. Okay, the department का arrangement इस shape इसका shape में है, पर लेकिन now they are making this as this shape. Okay, now they are putting like department 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 like this. Okay, now tell me how they are taking. Tell me. D1, sorry, D3 first one. They are interchanging the departments. So tell me D3, D1, D4. Okay. Next D1 to D2. Next D4 to D5. D5 to D6. So this is the, they are making this interchanging. So let us do now the distance between those. Sorry. So tell me the distance. Tell me distance. What are the non-adjacent pairs? इसमें non-adjacent pair कौन है, मतलब कौन सा डिपार्टमेंट है? Tell me. D4 D6. हाँ, D4 and D6. Next D3 and D4. D3 and D4. Next D3 D5. Yes. D3 and D5. Yes. Next D6 and yes. D3 and D6. Next D1 and D5. No, D1 D5. No, you can pair it like D2 to D5 का होता है ना, वो intersection point नहीं हो सकता. So D1 to D6 हो सकता है. D1 and D6. So completed. So this one is completed. D4 to D6. Yes. D3 to D4. Yes. D4 to D6. D1 to. So everything is finished. So tell me the distance. 2. Everything will be 2 because we'll take from the intersection point. Okay. Into distance value. Tell me the value. Values from the distance table. D1 and D6 का value कितना है? 7. Next. हाँ? 25. Next D3 and D5. 8. Next D3 and D6. 8. Next D1 and D6. 6. So okay, tell me the value full. So I'll get the answer. Total distance load. Okay. Likewise, the same. The interchange of second arrangement will be in that shape. Okay, you can do that. Okay, any questions? No, completed. Okay, that facility layout ka topic complete. So till what topics we have completed? So this theory, will you go through this till page number 119? Go through it. Okay, it's not that typical, you can understand easily after reading. Okay, because many problematic topics are there, it will take much time to cover classes. Okay, we need to finish the portion, right? So we'll go into a new topic, linear programming. Linear programming, page number 120. Open your page number 120, linear programming. Till that it is full of theory, you can go through it. Okay, if there is any doubt, ask me in the next class. Okay, so tell me what is linear programming? Anyone? Linear programming. Have you heard? Linear programming. Why it is used? Online? Anyone aware of this word? Linear programming? No. So the linear programming is used for optimum product mix. It is used for optimum product mix. Okay, to mix the product, how much to mix? When there are 2 or more raw materials to produce a finished goods, so we don't know how much to mix raw material A and B is there to produce a finished good called P. So we don't know how much A and B should mix to produce P. So this linear programming will help us to know the proper mixture of the product. Okay. So tell me example, let us take A and B are the raw materials we have. Okay, we are producing a finished good like soaps. Okay, finished good called soap. These are the base soaps, or some A is the base soap and B is the some chemicals to produce that soap. We don't know how much base soap to mix with that chemicals. If we mix if we mix base soap mucher than these chemicals, it may get reactions on our skin. Okay, the soap it may create reactions on skin. So proper mixture is important or not? So proper mixture of the product is important. Okay. So now we have the raw material and the finished goods. Whether we wanted to know that raw material are limited or unlimited. Okay. Now we have raw material and we have following the LLP to mix that raw material to produce a finished good. But we now I wanted to know will that raw material be sufficient to produce this finished goods. So the material should be scarce. Okay, material or resources should be scarce resources. Okay, first one we need material, second one it should be scarce resources, and for mixing a product. Okay, so now write down, it's a technique for specifying LLP or linear programming is an optimization technique linear programming problem is a optimization technique to produce a product with the limited resources when those limited resources have an alternative use. So every product need to be mixed with some other product to produce the product whatever we needed. Okay, for example, I want to make a coffee. So coffee can easily made with one ingredient? No. Only with milk I can make coffee? No, it needs what? It needs sugar, it needs coffee powder. Okay, only with milk I cannot produce. So every product needs mixture of some other product. So that mixing of other product we need to know by using linear programming. Okay, say let us do one question. I will tell you an example. So there will be two methods in this linear programming. One will be graphical method. Okay, one is graphical method and one is simplex method. Graphical method and simplex method. So graphical method, only the word graphical is denoted like graphic is used, okay, to do that problem. Simplex method is not that simple. It takes much time to understand, okay. It's not that simple, the word denotes, okay. Simplex method is somewhat tough to understand. So let us do one question or one example. So what the question is asking, you must know. Okay, you must know what the question is asking. So tell me, question number 1. A chemical company produces two compounds A and B. The following table gives us the unit of ingredients C and D per kg of compound A and B, as well as minimum requirement of C and D, and the cost per kg of A and B. Write down the problem mathematically for minimization of the cost. So whenever the question is given, like if the table is not given in your question, you make the table, okay. By reading the question, you make it like a table, so that you can easily solve that problem, okay. It will be very easy. If not, you will get confused. So now what he is telling, There are how many components? A and B. So the following table gives us the unit of ingredient. How many ingredients are there? C and D. So tell me how much ingredient C is required? A, 1 unit. Next B, 2. Next D of A, 3. This one, 1. So what's the cost per kg? 4 and 6. So what is the minimum requirement? Minimum requirement 80 and 70. 75, right? Yes. So let us assume that A and B terms as x1 and x2. Okay? Let us take A and B is denoted as x1 and x2. Okay? So let us do this question. So what he is asking to mathematically, he is telling us to minimize the cost. He is telling us to minimize the cost. First step is to first step is objective function. Okay, we need to find first step is objective function. In objective function, what is our objective? What is our objective? To minimize the cost. What is asking? To minimize the cost. What is asking? Minimize to cost. So minimization Z, it is denoted as Z, that is equal to 4x1 plus 6x2. Okay, this is the first step. So second step, we need to find constraints subject to constraints. Constraints are nothing but the resources what we have or the raw material what we have. Okay, subject to constraint is nothing but with the resources or the raw material what we have, we are making this cost to minimum. Okay, by using this limited raw material, okay, we are making that cost minimum. So what are the constants? Tell me how you will take now. Tell me. First one, C. C is equal to x1 or 1x1, right? 1x1, 2x2. So here the minimum requirement of C. So now minimum requirement matlab we need to put a greater than symbol or less than symbol. Tell me.
Greater than equal to, ma'am.
Huh?
Greater than equal to.
Yes, greater than equal to. Why? Tell me why. Minimum is needed 80, but in future we may need more. So it should be always greater than equal to. Minimum we needed 80 units. Okay, minimum only, no? Yes, minimum we needed 80 units, but we may need more in future. So that's why we need to put greater than equal to 80. Minimum is 80. It should be more than also sometimes. So it is greater than. Next ingredient C. कितना है? 3x1 plus 1x. So 1x2 is greater than or equal to 75. Okay, this is the second step. And third step is, this is compulsorily you need to write. So x1 comma x2 are more than or equal to 0. Okay, this one you need to write. For every question you need to write that x1 and x2 should be always be more than or equal to 0. So this x1 and x2, why we are taking? These are the variables. Okay, these are the variables which may variate. So, but this value should be of more than or equal to 0. It should never be negative. So that's why we are taking greater than symbol. Okay, this variables ka value should never be negative. Okay, it should not be less than 0, मतलब negative का value है ना, इसीलिए the variables value should never be 0 or negative. So that's why it should be more than 0. Okay, it should be positive always. Next, so it's completed. So this is okay, clear everyone, clear? So in the question they will tell us to formulate the solution or formulate the feasible solution or something. They will ask formulate matlab only we need to do up to this only. Okay, this is a graphical method, but in the question they are asking only us to formulate, matlab we need to do only equations. We can solve it, but the question is not asking us to solve. You need to study the question perfectly. Okay, you need to learn the question first. So what the question is asking, we need to do that one only. If he is asking us to do the solution, we need to, but when he is asking to formulate, only we need to till this only the objective function and subjected to constants we need to do. Okay, can I arise? Is that clear everyone? Any doubt? No? So next one, question number 2. So what the question is telling? A pension fund manager is considering investing in 2 shares A and B. It is estimated that share A will earn a dividend of 12% per annum and share B will earn a dividend of 4%. So growth in the market value in 1 year of the share A will be 10 paisa per 1 rupee invested, and for B is 40 paisa per 1 rupee. So let us do this as let us convert it as table. So what are the shares we have? Shares A and B, and next what they are telling? Dividend and growth. They are telling about dividend and growth. So tell me the dividend of A कितना है? 12%, right? And B कितना है? 4%. So what the growth he is earning? 10 paisa per 1 rupee. मतलब कितना है? Do it. 10 paisa divided by 100 rupees. How much? 0.1. So 0.4. Okay, next what he is telling? So he requires investing the minimum total sum which will give the dividend total of at least 600 per annum and the growth the total of 1000 rupees. So the dividend is giving how much? 600 and the growth is giving 1000 rupees. Minimum income. His minimum income is this much. So now what the question is asking? State the mathematical formulation. Only he is asking us to formulate. Matlab he is asking us to do that equations. Formulation of the problem which will facilitate the computation of minimum sum to be invested to meet the objective function. So here he is telling us to minimize. So our first objective function is to minimize. So tell me objective function क्या होता है? हाँ क्या होगा? Tell me what will be the objective function? Minimization. Z is equal to x1 plus x2. Okay. So we need to minimize Let us take this a and b as x1 and x2. Write over this. I have not written, but write denoted as x1 and x2. So minimum objective function is x1 plus x2. So next, subject to constraints. Tell me first one, how much? 12% मतलब कितना है? 12 divided by 100? 0.12. Okay. Huh? Oh yes, 0.12 x1 plus 0.10 x2. Tell me what? What we need to take now? Acha, no, it's not. This one and this one you need to take. You are telling this one. I also will tell this. 0.4, right? It's 0.4. 0.04 x2. It should be how much? Minimum income should be of 600. मतलब क्या अभी greater than symbol रखना है, नहीं तो less than? Yes, greater than equal to 600, because his minimum income is this one. It may be more than he can earn, more than that also sometimes. So it is greater than or equal to 600. Next, 0.10 x1 plus 0.40 x2 is greater than or equal to 1000, where x1 x2 is greater than or equal to 0. So this is the question. Next, so you do it, this third question, do it. Third and fourth question is also easy, do it now. Firstly, do that 2 questions now. Do it in the book. Online, you also do it in the book, the 2 problems now itself. He just said whenever you get a formulate, you need to write only the equation. You need not to solve. Only write that equation. Mostly in inter, they will only ask for formulation. When he wanted to give you a paper tough, sometimes he may tell you to solve the question. If it is graphical, it's easy, but if it is simplex, it will take much time. But you should be very thorough with that. You should remember everything in that simplex method में बहुत कुछ होता है remember करने के लिए, इसीलिए it will make that question very tough. Finished? finished. Any doubt? Online? Any doubt? 1 second, can I explain? Or is there any doubt? No. Completed? Finished? If there is any
Ma'am,
doubt, ask me. Huh?
मैम ये जो क्वेश्चन में जो से नॉन नेगेटिविटी कांस्टेंट जो है, एक में तो सब में ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू है 0, और एक में मतलब मैक्सिमम में ग्रेटर लेस देन इक्वल टू है, और एक में नॉन नेगेटिविटी कांस्टेंट ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू 0 क्यों लिखा हुआ है?
Non-negative constant मतलब the values of x1 and x2 should not be negative. Okay, it should be always to be positive. Positive का मतलब is non-negative. It can also be termed as non-negative. 0, that x1 and value should not be less than 0. मतलब it should not less than 0 मतलब क्या है? There will be negative values. When the value is less than 0, so the values are negative. So that is what he is saying, that value should never be less than 0. It should never be negative. It should always be positive. Okay.
ओके मैम.
So have you done? Completed? Third and fourth question. So let us do this fifth question. So tell me, question number 5, what he is telling. A bank is in the process of formulating its loan policy involving a maximum 600 million, rupees 600 million. The table below gives the relevant types of loans. The bad debts are not recoverable and no interest received. So what he is telling, underline that bad debts are not recovered and produce no interest received. So to meet the competition from other banks, the following policy guidelines has been set. At least 40% of the funds must be allocated to agricultural and commercial, and the fund allocated to the housing must be at least 50% of all the loans given to the personal, car, housing. So 40% should be allocated for agricultural and commercial, and 50% the funds allocated to housing must be 50% of all the loans given to personal, car and housing. Okay. The overall bad debts on all loans may not exceed 0.06. Okay, overall debts should not exceed how much? 0.06. So the formulate the linear programming model. So he is telling us to formulate. So let x1, x2, x3, x4 and x5. x1 is like personal loan. Okay, personal loan is denoted as x1. Tell me next one what? Car loan is denoted as x2. Housing loan is denoted as x3. You may change it like A, B, C, D or X, Y, Z. You can you can put anything. These variables can be on your own also. Okay, not only this x1, x2, x3. So next one, commercial or agricultural. Next, commercial. So now what's the objective function will be? Tell me. What will be the objective function? Tell me. What he is telling? To maximize the, what he is telling, to maximize what? What will be the objective function? In the first line of the question, that involves a maximum of 600 million. The table gives below the relevant types of loan. Bad debts are not recovered and produce no interest received. What he is telling, the bad debts are not recovered, so now the bad debt should be recovered. Okay, so tell me the interest values. 0.17 x1 plus, tell me, 0.14 x2 plus 11 x3, next 1 10 x4, next 13 x5. So now the bad debts are not recovered and no interest is received, right? So now no interest is received, the interest should be received now and the bad debt should be recovered now. So the bad debts means minus from that only, its continuation, minus of bad debts, tell me, 0.1 x1 0.07, अच्छा 0.07 0.65 0, tell me some louder, x3 plus 0.08 x4, sorry this is extra, 0.06 x5. Okay, so this is minus, so can we solve this? We can write, so this 0.17 minus 0.10 x1 so we'll take x1, x2, x3, x4 as common. 0.11 minus 0.0. So tell me, solve this, minus this amounts and tell me what you will get. Huh? 0 point? Not that, 0 0.7 x1 plus 0.7 x2 plus 0.6 x3 plus 0.2 x4 plus, what is this, 7, right, x5. So this is the objective function. Actually he in your book it has it is solved, but if you leave that also it's not a issue. Okay, you can leave that like that also in question, in exam, you need not to solve. Okay, so tell me constraints, subject to constraints. Tell me constraints. What is the first constraint? So bank is in the process of formulating its loan policy involving a maximum amount of 600 million. मतलब पूरा x1, x2, x3, x4 and x5 should not be of more than 600 million. x1, x2, x3, x4, x5. He is saying maximum. Maximum means should be what? Tell me. Less than or greater than symbol? Less than, yes. 600, right? Okay. If the question is telling minimum, matlab it should be more than that. So you need to put greater than value. If the question is telling maximum means that is the maximum, there will not be more than that. So you should put maximum का मतलब इतना ही है. we cannot cross that amount. So it should be less than. Okay, sub constants should be less than that. Okay. So next constant. Next one, continue the question. To meet the competition from the bank, the following policy guidelines has been set. At least 40% of the fund must be allocated to agricultural and commercial. So what is the agricultural is denoted as X4, right? X4 and X5. X4 plus X5 should not be how much percentage? 40%. At least, matlab it should be minimum of 40%. It may be more than. So, greater than or equal to 40%. It can be like 0.40. Okay, you can write like this. Next one. Fund allocated to housing. 50%. Housing, the funds allocated to the housing must be at least of 50%. What is the housing? X3, right? X3. At least 50%, but it may be more than this. Okay? More than what? It may be more than of X1, X2 and X3. Here also. X1, X2, X3, X4 and X5. Here he is telling only 40% for agricultural and commercial. 40% of agricultural commercial at least मतलब it is इसका पूरा 100% होगा तो इसमें 40% should be allocated for this. It denotes like that. Okay? If this is पूरा X1 to X5 is 100%, इसका 40% should be of for X4 and X5. You need to write this. Here also what he is telling, whatever the amount which has distributed to X2, X3, X4, in that 50% should be for X3. Read that. What he is telling? Funds allocated to housing, only housing should be of 50% of all the loans given to personal, car and housing. Okay? Understood? So next what the question is telling? Next, the overall bad debts on all loans may not exceed 0.06. So what the bad debts are? 0.10x1 plus 0.07x2 plus 0.5x3 plus 0.08x4 plus 0.06x5. Now tell me what you will get, greater than symbol or less than symbol. What the question is telling, may not exceed. Matlab less than, yes. Less than or equal to 0.6. So here x1, x2, x3, x4 and x5 should always be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, clear? Next question. What's the time? Still 5 minutes is there, no? So we can complete it. So question number 6. The annual handmade furniture show and sales occurs next month, and the School of Vocational Studies is planning to make furniture for sale. There are 3 woodworking classes, first year, second year, third year for the school, and they have decided to make 3 styles of chairs A, B and C. Each chair must receive work in each class, and the time in hours for chairs in each class is given. Chair A, B, C and first year, second year, third year. So in the next month there will be 120 hours available in the first year class and 160 hours in the second year class and 100 hours in the third year class to produce the chairs. The teachers of the woodworking class feels that the maximum of 40 chairs can be sold at the show. How much? 40 only, maximum 40 will be sold. Next, the teachers has determined that the profit from each type of chair will be A 40, B 35 and C is 30. So formulate a linear programming model to determine how many chairs should be produced to maximize the profit. Okay, so he is telling us to maximize the profit. So whenever they will tell about the cost, they will tell to minimize the cost. Whenever they are telling about the profit, they will tell us to maximize, because always the cost should be reduced and profit should be increased. So that is what it means. Okay, so tell me what chairs A, B, C are. Okay, let x1, x2 and x3 be the chairs. Okay, so what is the objective function? Tell me, what's the profit value for x1, x2? 40 x1, 35. Achha. So 35 x2, 30 x3. So this is the objective function. So here you write maximization. Okay. Next, subject to constraints. So now you will tell me, I will write. Tell me fast, what is the subjects to constraint? So what is the subject to constraint in the first year? 2x1 plus 3x2 plus 2x3. So first year, what's the requirement or what's the amount they have given? Should not be 160 hours. 120 or 160?
120.
120. So what is that? It is minimized or greater than or less than symbol we need to put. Tell me. So total hours are available only 120. They are giving the total hours available. Matlab, it should not be more than that. It's a total amount. Okay, it should be less than. So next, tell me second year. 4x1 plus x3. 160. Next, 2x2 4x3 100. So x1, x2, x3 should always be greater than 0. Okay, clear everyone? So next question also you can do. Next one also you can do. 9, 10. So till 10th one you will do. Okay, 10th one is a dual problem. No? I will explain. So do till 9th one. Okay, 9th one till 9th. Acha, simplex method is not there for you. What? Acha, there. It's there. Okay.